In this episode of the IT Experts podcast, we continue on the 36 powerful ideas to scale your MSP with confidence. And this one is all around harnessing your ambition. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast, the only podcast to help MSPs scale to 1 million. And if already there, get to 5 and go faster. At the end of the day, isn't it all about building a business that works for you rather than you for it? I hope you enjoy the show. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast. In this very special series of rapid fire podcasts we have coming over to your earbuds in the month of September. This is part of a five podcast series of 36 powerful ideas to help scale your MSP with confidence. First one was about mindset, getting your head in the right place. Episodes 2, 3, and 4 about the actual 3 elements of our scale with confidence model. And the last one's going to be about action planning. So really, I know we've done like 105 episodes right now, but the 5 you really need to listen to are these. And this is going to be number 2. This is around harnessing your ambition. Now, so this pillar, harnessing your ambition, is all around taking you from being distracted and being completely demanded on by everybody to getting you absolute clarity. So whether people are inside your business, whether it's your client base, whatever it is, so many MSP business owners get absolutely overwhelmed all of the time. And in this section, we're going to be talking through how bringing your vision, bringing accountability, bringing KPIs to life, why this is so important and why this is kind of step 1 really. Now, the reason that we put these podcasts together is to help you understand how this whole business growth thing works in the MSP space. And if you want to understand and learn how they're all connected, then what you can do is you can actually just cut straight to the chase and you can download our 36 strategies that will get emailed to you in easily digestible chunks, easy for me to say. And they're available at bit.ly/36 ideas for MSPs. I'll read that out a little bit later on, so don't worry about grabbing your pen and paper now. Because what I want to talk to you about to start with is around, it's a bit of a concept. It's an interesting concept that we talk about quite a bit. And it's around something called the shadow of the leader. And the reason that this is important is the way that you operate as a business owner, the way that you behave as a mother or a father, the way that you conduct yourself in business is really important because it's kind of goes with one of the sayings that how you do anything is how you do everything. I used to work years ago back in the day on Heathrow Airport, working in the electrical infrastructure for Heathrow. And we had lots of engineers going out on site every day. And if we wanted to know the quality of the work of an engineer that was visiting site from another depot or something like that, we'd just go and look at his van. And by looking at the way that he organised his PPE, by looking at the way that he organised his tools and everything, we could tell really quickly what the quality of his work is. And this is the same in leadership. It's the same in being a parent. It's the same in running your own business. It goes back to that, how you do anything is how you do everything. And if your business is unorganized, if your business is a mess, if the office is a tip and there's cables and wires and boxes and plugs and all sorts of things all over the place, what does your employees think about it? What do your clients, if they ever have the pleasure of turning up into your business, about it? And when we talk about vision and values, and when we talk about the mission, the vision and the values and connecting it all together, it's really around understanding where you're going as an individual, but also how you do things, and really really is important about some of the ways that we conduct ourselves. If you've had a bad weekend and you come into the office and then all of a sudden you're taking it out on everybody in the office, number one, that's not really very fair. And number two, it also makes the people in the office believe that that's the right way to behave. I worked with a client many years ago and the place was an absolute shambles. And after a couple of weeks of working with him, we were on a one-to-one basis. I realised that he was the problem because he was the most chaotic, unstructured individual you'd ever met. And because of that, the whole organisation, there was like 26 people in this place. They all, they just followed the leader. They shouted, that's exactly what we do. That's exactly how we go. So bringing a mirror up to yourself and reflecting, on your thinking is really important. Businesses that are in comfort zones are probably one of the most dangerous businesses in this place. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're in a bit of a comfort zone, you're in a bit of a lull right now, I want you to try and have a little think about what gap do you need to change? Where do you want to be? Where are you now? What do you need to do to get yourself from one stage, one level to the next level? What's in the gap? What's stopping you from doing it? What keeps happening that means that you're just going around on this hamster wheel time and time again? And, the shadow of the leader is not only as important, and understanding your values is not only as important for internal things with your own staff and your own team, but also for external, because it's how people are going to align to you. I remember did some work with an Australian MSP, and I got on the phone to this guy, and he actually found me through one of the blogs we'd written, which was really cool. And I said to him, how are we talking today? What is it that we saw? He said, well, I saw one of your blogs. He says, and then I went on your website, and I just knew we were gonna get on. I said, how did you know that? He says, because you got the same values as me. And we did. We got on really, really well, got some great results. It was a really, really good a bit of work we did with them. But it's just important that you align up with people that are of the same value set, because that's really when you start to get into flow. And that's really when you start to get to a position where you're enjoying the people. They're all coming to work for the same reason. They've got that common goal. So when we talk about, directional clarity around your vision, your mission, your values, the where you want to go, the how you want to get there, and the how you behave in the culture of your organization, then I just want to give you a little bit of a prod on the importance of doing that. We've done some podcasts previously all around the visions and the missions. Just go and have a search and they will pop up. And remember as well, in the last podcast, we gave you 6 questions as well. So if you're thinking about, hang on a minute, where is this business going? What's this, in terms of clarity and direction, where are we actually going? There's 6 really great questions. In actual fact, pop them in the show notes on this one as well. Let's put these in the show notes and we'll refer back to them. Spend 20 minutes, go through them. But what's in that gap? What needs to change, and what are you feeling a little bit uncomfortable about? So that's kind of the first section. I didn't really want to start this podcast off by giving you guys a bit of a prod in the ribs, but that's how it flows, isn't it? But this is really important because, as I've said many, many times, you're never going to build a house, go on holiday, or fly a plane unless you've got a plan. And the plan revolves around the direction, and the plan revolves around the kind of the vision, the way that you're going to be going and connecting moving forwards, which is really important thing. The next thing I want to talk to you about is, and don't turn off, about forecasting and KPIs and knowing your numbers. Just because you've got 20 or 30 grand in the bank or whatever it might be, doesn't mean you've got a successful business. And the reason that forecasting is so important and that we do it is because it can help us make investments. It can help us see what's, for example, for the purpose of this, I'm going to say we're doing a 12-week forecast. It can help you see what is coming ahead, what big expenses you've got. Yeah, okay, you can have your monthly subscriptions, and I get that, but you've also going to have annual subscriptions, and they're the ones that you kind of like forget about, and all of a sudden that comes in from one side and it takes a couple of grand out of the business, like, oh, ouch, didn't hear about that, didn't remember that was coming up, had quite a good year up till then. But the reason that forecasting is so important, the reason that understanding your KPIs and understanding your numbers is it removes any guesswork. It removes the kind of like we'll be all right. Now, what was really interesting in the last couple of months is myself and Stuart have been aligning our clients into the programs, into the Growth Hub programs, which has been really exciting and really, really good fun. And many of my clients had been kind of like sub 750K, and they'd never really taken a lot of time to look at the KPIs, their headline numbers, the what's going on. And we ran some exercises throughout the program in one of our sessions, and it was really difficult. It was really hard work, and I knew that the guys were going to struggle. We were there to support them, etc., etc. But what then happened was, they sat in the room, and there was like 40 MSPs in the room, and there might have been 10 of them who couldn't do their headline numbers or couldn't have the information ready, and they didn't feel embarrassed because they were in a supported environment, and they just kind of like reached out on a one-to-one basis, like, how do I do this, how do I do that, how do I find this, how do I find that? Anyway, the point I'm trying to get to is this ended up being like turning the light bulb on. It was like, oh my God. So my target now is for the next 3 months, to get my head around my numbers properly, get your accountants involved, find out what reporting you can get out of Zero and all that other kind of good stuff. But how can you actually use it properly? And one of them, oh, you'll love this actually, just remember this now. One of them took 25 grand a year cost out of his business, cut it out for subscriptions that he wasn't using. All right. And just to give you in terms of that business, he wasn't a multi-seven-figure business. He was probably at about 700, maybe 750K, 25 grand clear profit increase just because he went through his numbers. I've got bloody goosebumps now talking about that. But how powerful is that? Just because he learned his numbers. And that's kind of some of the things that we're doing. But what it does, right, is it really helps you to understand and plan. If you want to recruit a tech, right, a lot of people go, oh, it's £25,000, £30,000, £30,000, whatever it might be to recruit a tech. Yeah, but you haven't got to pay that all at once. It's only going to cost you £2,500 a month, and if after 3 months is crap, then get rid of them, but it's the mindset that I really want to help with is understanding around the KPIs and understanding your numbers, understanding what's coming in, understanding what's going out. Where's your ROI? What return on investment are you getting on anything that you're spending, really, whether it be an engineer, a software system, a marketing person, whether you're investing in new, marketing activities, and setting the growth targets for the team for next year. And you don't need to go to the level of telling everybody how much money the business is earning. Be quite careful around that, because some people have different perceptions of profit and turnover. They don't realise how much it costs to run a blooming MSP. But the point I'm just trying to make is that by understanding your KPIs, by understanding what you're measuring, by understanding how your cash flow is actually tracking, knowing your numbers, your profitability is really key in terms of understanding, what product or service do you sell that's actually the most profitable? Do you know that? If you do know that, fair play to you. If you don't know that, I'd suggest you go and find it, because how do you know if you want to go and sell more of it if you're not making any money out of it? But it's really, really important from a forecasting point of view, so you can see if you're going to make investments, if you need to make any cuts, if you need to make some cuts and increase the profitability because you've just had some stuff sitting around there like one of our clients, then that's a really great place to be. But really understanding your headline numbers, a good grasp of it is critical to having the ability to harness that ambition, to move from distracted to absolute clarity, and to work your way to really getting a handle on the direction of where your business is going. Okay, and the last bit I want to touch on today is around a bit of accountability, really, and it's a bit of reflecting on some of the things that were said in the Bible, which is something I never thought I'd ever mention on this podcast. But without vision, the people will perish. And businesses need vision, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier on, but I want to talk about personal vision. And I want to talk about this as well with the MSP journey that we were talking about on the last podcast and on other podcasts, and we talk about it pretty much every day of the year. As you go through the growth spurts and the growth stages of an MSP, the ultimate section, the ultimate pinnacle is arrive. Where we arrive, we go through survive, drive, thrive, and arrive. And at the top, it's the kind of the best place to be. But arrive is different for everyone. Arrive might be for you, I want to dominate my local town to be the best MSP in the town. It might be, do you know what? I'm done. I want to sell out. It might be, I actually really enjoy doing the technology side of things. I'm going to bring an MD in so the MD can actually run the business, which I don't really enjoy doing. And I'm going to carry on doing the technical side of things. That's absolutely fine as well. But if you don't know where you're going, and if you don't know what winning looks like as well, it might be so many holidays with the family. It could be to work, and this, for many of you, you're just going to go, oh my God, I'd love to do that. But if you've got working 80 hours a week, it'd be great to work just like 40 hours a week. It'd be great to work like 3 days a week. We know many MSP business owners who are working 3 days a week. Some of them are working even 2 days a week. And they just let the business run. But it doesn't happen overnight, and I don't want you getting overwhelmed, because, these sort of things you've got to work at. we're just doing some work on a keynote speech. I'm actually just talking about the difference between, how much pain is a bigger motivator than gaining pleasure, because not many people have time to think about, the visionary side of running a business. It's more about the here and now, what you're doing, the smack in the face and all of that kind of good stuff. But vision is so important because it anchors the business in why it does what it does. It's a bit like the Pied Piper. It creates that message that's so compelling that it attracts others to want to be part of it. And not only do you want to then have clients that are going to come and work with you, but they're going to have really, really great employees that work with you as well. And Simon Sinek did a great job at explaining this in his book, it starts with why. And it was all about the fact that people buy why you do something rather than what you do. And if we just relate this back to technology at the moment, how many people have phoned you up and said, hey, my business is an absolute mess. I need to get Office 365 in. Now, they may well say that question because they've heard it from someone else. But initially, they'll be going, hey, my office is a complete mess. I need to get this stuff electronic. I need to get this digital. I need to be able to have good file transferring systems between my people. I need to make sure that we've got stuff going on, that I can easily track, and we can access people's logins, and we can make sure that people aren't going to be, putting us in a position where we're compromised through security and all these sorts of things. And people will buy why you do something. So they'll be buying the fact that you're keeping them safe. They'll be buying the fact that you're going to make them efficient. They'll be buying the fact that, you're going to care about them, and they're not going to need to worry about you because you're just going to do what you say on the tin. And this is the really important thing about understanding, the personal vision, where you want to go as an individual, the business vision, where does the business want to go? What does a business want to achieve? What does a business need to do to support the amazing employees that you've got working with it? I was talking to someone the other day, and they said that, it was actually earlier on in the year, and they said, we have decided what we want this business to deliver to us this year in our goal setting. And it was absolutely a great way to do it. The business is a vehicle for us to have a great family life, to have great holidays, to have nice cars, to have time off, to give back to charity, to do some work in the church. And it was like amazing that people, saw the business as a vehicle to do that. And, we align with a lot of those sort of thoughts at the Growth Hub. And it's really important that we understand that, why we're doing things, having that vision, set up, because it is a component of ambition. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's kind of one of the legs of the three-legged stool.
The ultimate MSP podcast crossover.
Hi, my name is Adam Walter, and I'm the host of the Humanize IT podcast. I'm celebrating the ultimate MSP crossover all through September. And here's the best piece of business advice I've ever been given. Fail fast. Too often we hold on to projects, teams, and ideas too long because we think through sheer force of will, we can make them succeed. If we just work a little harder, if we just push a little harder, we'll get there. Instead, accept the failure. Accept the fact that it didn't work, and then continuously improve. Make what you're doing today look like crap tomorrow, so that over time, your business will evolve, your ideas will evolve, your teams will evolve, and you will become a best-in-class business rather than being stuck on an idea that's not working. I'll be back on the Ultimate MSP Crossover Show on September 30th. Remember, you can win $1,000 by posting about a crossover on LinkedIn. Use the hashtag MSP Podcast Crossover to enter the draw. We'll see you there.
The ultimate MSP podcast crossover.
So I hope you enjoyed that short blast. Podcast 2 of the 36 powerful ideas to scale your MSP with confidence. We talked about KPIs, we talked about vision and mission quite a bit today, but it's really, really important that we understand the direction and where we're going, how we're going to measure it, and then more importantly, how we're going to keep ourselves to account and everything in those great spaces there. So look, I look forward to catching up with you on the next podcast. Again, the Scale with Confidence model's there to help you to get to 1 million. If you're already there, we can help you get to 5 and go faster. And you can actually download and get access to the emails, which will drip feed in little bite-sized chunks for you. If you just go onto your nearest browser and type in bit.ly/36 ideas for MSPs. So that's all for me today. I'm going to catch up with you on the third podcast episode, which is going to be all around amplifying the capacity of your business, taking you from me dependent to being me not needed. Thanks again. I look forward to catching up with you soon. You take care now. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, I'd love it if you could leave a rating and review on your favourite podcast platform. If you want to learn more about how to take your MSP to $1 million, or if you're already there, go faster, then come and join Stuart Warwick and myself in the Scale with Confidence Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You go and enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.